Today we're talking about PC games and the PlayStation 5.
PC's
Because a couple days ago,
dead.
I made a video reporting on
PC's
a big leak
dead.
that
We
essentially,
need
apparently,
PlayStation
internally,
5
Sony is not
exclusives to
happy
keep us
about this PlayStation PC initiative. That
What are you talking about, man? The reason as to why Helldivers 2 is successful is because of PC gaming. PC gaming.
apparently, just in raw numbers,
Oh, here we
that
go.
Sony feels like putting PlayStation exclusives, especially their single-player stuff that sold the most
Stop with the
PS5s, they
excuses,
think it's a
Jimmy.
mistake to put that stuff on Steam. Because
Stop
currently,
with the excuses, Jimmy. Stop with the excuses, Jimmy.
the strategy the last couple of years has
Stop
been like
with the
basically they release a game,
excuses,
something
Jimmy.
big like God of War, and they release the previous one on PC. When Ragnarok comes out, well, here's
Stop
God of War
with the
2018. Something to sort of
excuses,
be that
Jimmy.
gateway drug.
Here we
Here's
go.
the first taste. If you want the real one, the new one, the fresh one, well, you got to have a PlayStation.
Bro, if PlayStation removes their games from PC, that is going to be a lot of lost money. And that's not something that they're willing to afford, considering Microsoft is pushing this Xbox Play Anywhere strategy. You're going to let Microsoft take over. And that's what Sony's afraid of. And the funny thing is, you guys would rather have Sony go under, all because they're PlayStation 5 exclusive. Well, you tell Bluepoint Studios how well that worked for them. If it's all about exclusives, right? Weren't that the company that made games exclusively for the PlayStation 5, and yet Sony had to close them down because they weren't enough of you ponies buying them? You know what?
Apparently, Sony thinks that this has just been a colossal mistake. So,
No, you guys want it to be a colossal mistake because you have nothing going into the next generation. Because if those games end up popping up on Xbox, like how we've seen with the Xbox ROG Ally, and your game's accessible through Steam, then guess what? There's no point of a console war, huh? That's exactly what it is, man. All the coping, all the capping that y'all been doing throughout this whole generation, just for these games to be playable on the new Xbox platform. That's all it is. I've told you guys this. GameStop with another W.
Now been a big pullback. Sony has actually said, screw PC, there goes all the exclusives other than their live service stuff.
And you know what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your exclusives because if they did, Sony wouldn't have had to port them to PC in the first place. Like, it's so funny that he goes as far to say, oh, well, Sony never cared about it, but yet they cared when Helldivers 2 was making far more money on PC than it ever did on a lousy PlayStation 5 console. And now you out here capping, oh, they're going back to exclusives. They're going back to... What do you mean? Exclusives haven't worked. Cold Violet flop, Destruction All-Stars, Astrobot. These games barely can even hit 3 million. What are you talking about? Final Fantasy 16, why do you think Square is making games multi-plat now? Because those so-called PlayStation 5 exclusives weren't working for them, were they? Stop with the excuses, Jimmy.
We're taking our ball and going home.
Stop
now,
with
when
the
I reported on this, I thought it was
excuses,
interesting,
Jimmy.
but not that world-changing. This weekend, people have been mad. I mean, I have now seen about 50 different podcasts from Xbox podcasts, PC podcasts, even some PlayStation podcasts, like legitimately tear their hair out pissed.
Nobody's doing that. Matter of fact, I've been on YouTube, but I have not seen that. I don't think a lot of people, I think people are questioning the decision as to what's going on. But I don't think anybody's doing all that about what this man just said.
Saying this is a betrayal of PC.
Betrayal.
Xbox needs to rip all of their games off of PlayStation.
Nobody's saying this.
I mean, people are going ballistic. And I want to discuss this because I honestly think that Sony's strategy, to me, makes sense. They're making most of their money at this point from the ecosystem of PlayStation.
Which has nothing to do with exclusive games.
Every game that's...
How do you build an ecosystem of gamers? Oh, right, that's right. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. Online gamers. Fortnite players. Matter of fact, you know, there was a guy that left a comment, man, and said that the best 10 games of this generation was NBA 2K20, 2K21, NBA 2K23, NBA 2K24, NBA 2K26, man. That is the top 10 games of the generation for these casuals. I'm just letting y'all know that. And then you can throw in a Madden, a college football, and then you can throw in a baby steps at the end. If you want to spice things up.
On PlayStation gives them a 30% cut. As much as it sucks, Sony is making their tens of billions of dollars not by selling games, but by having games sold for them.
So then, if they're not making money by selling games, then why would it matter if Sony goes back to that exclusive strategy? You just bodied your own argument. If it ain't about making games anymore, and like I've told you guys before, Sony don't need to. They don't need to. They're getting money off 30%, and then you know what? We're comfortable. We'll just have Xbox bring games to us, and that will keep the ponies happy, even if it's an old Halo. I mean, they haven't played it. You know, let Microsoft come in and take the whole market share of gaming. I mean, at this point, Sony just admitted defeat. So Sony just showed me that there's no fighting spirit with this company because they don't even want to make games.
We discuss and take a look at a bunch of different sources because even the head of when it comes to this one, it does seem like a lot of genuine gamers are seriously mad that they're sort of losing access to PlayStation if they don't have a PlayStation.
I don't hear any PC gamer complaining about this.
Sony is reportedly pulling away from PC when it comes to single-player PlayStation games with more focus on console exclusivity. And pretty much all of the replies, we're going to take a console, is incredibly difficult. Either the PlayStation Store doesn't actually work in some countries, or buying an Xbox, it may not even come.
This ain't even a PlayStation. Yo, you see what I'm saying? They always using third-party games, man. You got Leon Kennedy looking at him like, what are you talking about? I'm a Capcom game. I'm on everything. I'm even on the Nintendo Switch too, for crying out loud. What, bro? I can't, bro. What is wrong with you people, bro? You see how much they love third-party? They love third-party so much they call it an exclusive. They're going to be like, oh, the PS5 Pro is an exclusive version because it's the only one with PSSR technology and some ray tracing. Oh, my goodness.
I do think is about 80% of it, if I'm being completely honest, which is that...
Yeah, this is what it's always been about. This is what it has always been about, and this is why ponies keep running to Twitter. They keep running with these false gaming rumors and leaks because they don't want to see a reality of where these so-called PlayStation exclusives being playable on the new Xbox. I've told you guys this. Games still want another W because I called it. This is what this is all about. So when y'all sitting there saying people out here pulling hair off their head over this, it's really just you ponies. Because you realize that the console war is over. And guess what? Nobody cares about your games, bro. Not even your own audience. You can say whatever you want about Xbox games being ported over, but those games built their foundation on Xbox and was successful on Xbox even before they started doing the Play Anywhere strategy. Your games were an abomination before they even started. Your games never had a peak. Killzone 2, I'm not saying they're bad games, but these games never got past that point. They couldn't even get past their own platform. That's why your franchises don't exist.
Fully into this, Paris posted a...
We doing this again? I told you, man. Hey, put the stick down, man. We doing this again? Didn't Paris tell you the last time you tried to take the stick and, poke at the beehive, and look at it. Dreamcast guy doing it again. He doing it again. He doing it again. What are you doing, man? You out here talking to the Suge Knight of the gaming community, and he out here doing this. He's doing this again, bro. Hey, yo, this is crazy, bro.
3.5 minute video that everybody is kind of roasting. I'm not going to dogpile it, but he essentially said that he thinks that Sony doing this is a mistake because they have the opportunity to increase the money they've been making on PC already. That right now they're making $2.3 billion.
Yeah, and you guys act like that's nothing. Sony's making $2.3 billion on putting their games on PC, and yet the ponies are acting as if that's nothing.
Games on PC. He essentially said
just for porting games over. Not necessarily even making new games, just to port games over.
They should lean into the PC marketplace. He says that if they just put it day and date instead of trying to have these delayed releases. He says, like, the example he gives specifically is, all right, say you're putting out a new big PlayStation game and now you're bringing it to PC. They normally bring it 2 years later.
I don't really think it's gonna matter. Sean Layden already said that. People that have a console are not gonna go pick up a $2,000-$3,000 PC to play the same game that they paid $700 for on a Pro. I mean, I think Sean Layden already exposed that notion.
Still full priced. Why would a person buy that? Or why would they buy it at full price?
Because they're
And
casual.
of course, a lot of this is basically saying a majority of video game sales are fueled by 4% of players.
That's you. That's you. You're that 4%. Look at that. Matter of fact, I actually seen this article the other day too. 63% of U.S. consumers are buying fewer games. Look at that. Games still want another W. Oh, I thought we physical media, baby. Oh yeah, all these false narratives that I've told you guys, man, that these people out here keep on spewing, just to find out that they're wrong again. See, that's 4%. You see, that's the dinosaur era. You see, that's you. 4%. That's probably including me, Fanboys on Twitter. That's you guys. That's you guys. Wow. So, but the 96% of gamers don't give a rat's behind about video gaming. There's your answer. And you know what? Once I stop fully supporting it, it's going to be down to 3%. And it's only going to get worse.
Of U.S. consumers are buying fewer games. Now, a lot of that comes down to the fact that AAA single-player games are super expensive to make. They don't last very long. You only need a few per year. And most people just don't play more than 1 or 2 multiplayer games. All exacerbate the fact that life is extremely expensive.
That's not it. Because life has always been expensive and people still have found ways to play video games. That's an excuse. Matter of fact, gaming is more affordable than it's ever. All you need is a box and then you can pick up and get a few free-to-plays, or you could buy a few games on discount for $4 to $5. You weren't getting stuff like that back then on the N64. You was paying $80 to $100 for some games, bro. That's facts. That's facts. And people was making way less money back then. So you got to explain how those games sold better than the games that are on PlayStation.
I do understand that some people aren't going to be able to buy, the brand new Resident Evil and the brand new Pokemon and the brand new controller. A lot of
see, that's what I'm saying. This is how you know. It's not that people can't afford it. I can guarantee you that people spend more money on Fortnite skins than they care to build a gaming library. You see what I'm saying? It's these old-fashioned, prehistoric, dinosaur era gaming takes. They don't want your game. How hard is it for you people to understand that they don't want to buy your game? Look at the most popular games. They're games filled with microtransactions. You think those people ain't buying anything? They're spending more money to play one singular game than they cared if they bought 20 to 30 other games for themselves.
People are just in a space where okay, they can only buy $70, $80, $100 of games a year. So are they going to buy one game, or are they going to get a subscription to World of Warcraft, which is $15 a month, and they can play that all year long? Or why don't they just buy a free-to-play game? They buy one skin they really...
Hold on. Buy a free-to-play game? What do you mean? You got to buy a free-to-play? What? What? Hold on. Buying free-to-plays? Yo, hold on. What? What did I just hear?
They're going to get a subscription to World of Warcraft, which is $15 a month, and they can play that all year long. Or why don't they just buy a free-to-play game that...
Buying free-to-plays? Then it ain't free. Then is it, dummy? Yo, who's buying free-to-play? Hey, yo, man, listen, I'm going to be a troll. I'm going to go gift somebody a free-to-play and be like, yo, man, I thought about you this season. Here you go. I'm going to gift you a free-to-play. Hold on, what? We out here buying free-to-play? Yo, who does that? Who buys a free-to-play game? What?
They buy one skin they really like, and they play...
No, they don't buy more than one skin. They buy a bunch of skins, a bunch of dance moves. They buy a bunch of Sabrina. Go talk about me. Got my V-Bucks. You talk about me. That's the era, bro. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. These kids, these people are spending more money to play Fortnite than they are playing your games. It's that simple. You dinosaurs have to accept the fact that nobody actually gives a rat's behind about the games that you played.
All year long, and they play that game all year long. Now, I'm not going to claim that's the right path, but I am saying that I think more and more people, as money gets tighter, are making that cost-benefit analysis.
No, they're not, because they're spending thousands of dollars on Fortnite skins and V-Bucks or whatever, Roblox. That's what they're spending their money on, bro. That's what they're spending their money on. That money could be going to another console or to another library of games or to any of that, for that fact. And they rather spend thousands of dollars on a game that they actually enjoy, which causes them to not buy any more games.
Okay, how much new gaming experiences, how much community?
They're not thinking this. You think the guy that picks up 2K every year is talking about, I gotta go try out some new games. Nope, he just plays basketball. That's all he does. He just plays basketball. And then he continues to spend thousands of dollars on NBA 2K every year for every annual release title. That's what people are doing, man. Those are the two games that people pick it up every year.
How much fun can I have for the least amount possible?
Nobody's doing this.
And a single-player game that does cost $70, even if it does have the best story and the best graphics, I do think that, unfortunately, there are more and more people, especially young gamers, that are saying, they don't care about stories. They don't care about cool, moving, questioning of reality or mind-bending plot twists.
They don't.
They're bored. They're tired. They're working 2 jobs to barely...
This has nothing to do with that. Then why is Fortnite popular? Then why are all these other games popular besides the ones you're playing? Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl, because they don't care about it. How many times I gotta teach you this lesson, old man? They don't care about your games. You people keep fighting about, nobody buys no game. People got jobs. People got family. People got this job. People got this doing that. People out here doing all that. That's the reason why I'm gaming. People have been working. People have been having jobs. People have been doing all this even when gaming was in its infancy stage. And guess what? People were still buying games. Stop with the excuses, Jimmy. Your generation is over. Bye, dinosaur era.
Scrape by while taking college classes. A lot of those people are like, I'm just going to play League of Legends.
And people were still doing that during the days of Doom and all that. And guess what? People still playing those games. Nothing changed. So when you guys sit there and say, no, you know what it is? They rather spend more time doing that than gaming. Because gaming is just not that important to them, because with gaming, there's no passion.
I don't care if it's a good patch or a bad patch. I just want to scrape by. Now.
Wow.
Nib made a huge, giant post. And essentially...
Like, we're just going to stop it right there. And it says, yet again, the ecosystem 30% cut is the moneymaker. You know what? That's all I got to see. That's all I got to see. That's all I told y'all this. What's keeping PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo together is their live service and subscription. Gamester with another W, because I called it. Okay? Y'all can sit there and say, no. I've been the one consistent with the live service and subscription. Y'all know this. All they got to do is sit back, get 30%, and that's it. Look, sales without doing anything, and they rather the ones that get it. Exactly. They don't have to do anything. That's why Sony's not making games, because one, to make a game, you got to invest it within a budget, and then you have to sell it to people. So you have to make double of what the game's worth. Sony doesn't want to do that anymore. They just want to sit down on that 30% Fortnite skid money and just call it a day. That's what your audience is. So you guys could talk about the PlayStation 5 is better because of exclusive. Well, understand that 96% of the people that, I would even say 99.9% of the people buying your damn console are buying it for third party and not exclusive. So you guys saying PC's dead because exclusives are finally going to go back to the platform. That's only going to hurt Sony, because that audience doesn't buy exclusives. You guys got 92 million PlayStation 5s out there, and yet nobody's buying your games, bro. Man, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Like I said, take care. Peace out.